Members of the minority have graciously made it clear that we're free to go forward. I will tell the witnesses, to many of whom this will come as no surprise, including, of course, a very distinguished and much missed former colleague. In fact, I have two former colleagues on this panel. I served in the House here with our friend from North Carolina, Ms. Clayton, but I have an earlier colleagueship. After I was elected to the Massachusetts House in 1972, along with Congressman Ed Markey and Congressman Bill Delahunt, 2 years later we were joined by one of our witnesses, Mr. Natsios, who then represented the town of Holliston, I believe, where the marathon begins, and later took over the town of Sherburne, which is now in my district. So we have had one of the great bonds you can have, common constituents. There are probably some annoying people we can both remember, and some very nice ones. But I want to assure people that obviously this is, because it's a Wednesday, it's a busy day, there are a lot of other things going on, but this is a hearing we take very seriously. This committee has jurisdiction over American relations with all the international financial organizations, and we plan to follow up on this, including there will soon be a letter coming from members of this committee to the Treasury Department urging more money for IFAD, which Ms. Clayton had brought to our attention. And when this committee sent a delegation to Africa during the spring break, several members of the committee, Ms. Waters, Mr. Meek, Mr. Watt, Mr. Clay, and Ms. Moore, we included meetings with the IFAD people in Cape Verde, and the whole question of how you deal with agriculture, how you deal with the food crisis was very much on our minds. So I am very appreciative. My praise goes to the staff of this committee. They did a very good job of assembling an excellent panel, and I just want to assure everybody this is a subject we take very seriously, and your words will have an impact as we go forward trying to shape policy. I am also glad to note that we're not by any means the only committee dealing with this. I guess the Senate's having a hearing on it today. I've talked to my colleagues in various other committees, the Agriculture Committee, the Appropriations Committee. I do believe there is a recognition of the extreme gravity of the food crisis, and what we hope to remind people is that, yes, it's important to respond in the short run, but it's equally important to take a set of policies that will confront us with this in the future. So this is the current crisis in which we have people literally starving and the economic harm that's being wreaked. The current crisis is an important reminder to us not just to respond to the crisis, but to try to use the attention that we get now that we're in a crisis to refocus policies in a broader sense, and I know that's what we expect to hear from you. Are there other members who wish to make statements? The gentleman from North Carolina.